Works it for Cooper. Hits him in stride. Cooper stays in bounds for the touchdown. Wow. Formation. Elliott bangs through and scores.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we have a new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and that is Mike McCarthy. Yes, it is official. Mike McCarthy will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. After taking a year off from football, he is now ready to go. He will be the 9th head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and this is coming after Jason Garrett's long tenure with the Cowboys for 9.5 years. Now, there will be a review of the Jason Garrett era, providing a somewhat in-depth analysis of how I felt about the Garrett era and what can we do to make sure that the next head coach does not repeat the same mistakes. Now, obviously, that's not a guarantee. Everyone's going to make mistakes, but that's besides the point. Now, looking at Mike McCarthy's tenure with the Packers, he was with the Packers since, from 2006 to 2018. He made the playoffs a total of 9 times in 13 years. He actually had 8 consecutive playoff appearances, which involved 4 straight division titles. And also, when you look at it, he does have a Super Bowl ring to his tenure. And he has 8 seasons of 10 or more wins. For context with that, in Garrett has 3 seasons with 10 or more wins and only 3 playoff appearances in 9 years. So if you look at it, Jason Garrett, the amount of time that Jason Garrett has been in Dallas is the same amount of time that Mike McCarthy has been into the playoffs, and that's 9 times. Now, people will say, oh, well, Space Cowboy, with all due respect, Mike McCarthy, he was run out of Green Bay for a reason. And yes, I will admit that, yeah, he was run out of Green Bay for a reason. I mean, look, I think it ended up coming down to the fact that it was like the Andy Reid situation in Philadelphia. Not everything is going to last forever. I think that it was just a mutual parting. Well, they fired him, but it was just, hey, look, we know what you've done for this organization. We respect that, but it's best we move forward now. And that's what I think happened. Now, what do I personally how is my personal, take on this whole hire? Now, before, I will admit that, yeah, I was looking to hire one of the college coaches because I felt like, hey, you know what? I think you got to go outside the box here, but you know what? I'll reserve myself for this hire. I mean, I think the Cowboys did a damn good job with this hire because what they decided to do was they decided to go with the best coach that in terms of experience and having that head coaching repertoire. I think that they made the right choice. It wasn't the sexiest pick, however, it was the smartest pick in my eyes. You look at the situation they're in, they realize, hey, we're in a win-now situation. I think, this is what the Joneses are thinking. Hey, we need to get a guy in here that can get this team straight and get us to where we want to go. Now, just as a heads up, I don't believe there's been a head coach, and I remember people were talking about this. People were saying there hasn't been a head coach that's won another Super Bowl with another team as the head coach. And, all records are meant to be broken, So I'm not expecting a Super Bowl in 2020, but I'm expecting us to make improvement. I'm expecting us to at least do better than 8-8. And, it's the first year of a new head coach. Now, I don't know how long the deal is. I'm assuming it's a 5-year deal. If that is the case, this is the first step in getting to where we want to go. Obviously, we'll learn a lot about what the Cowboys want to do. So we have the first step of the plan for 2020 and the future down. You got your new head coach in Mike McCarthy. And I do love the hire. I think that, like I said, I think this was for the better. It wasn't the sexiest pick, but it was the smartest pick. And again, I want to also mention that the Mike McCarthy, during his year off, he did take the time to look at his game and he did develop it. He's helped develop a team dedicated to analytics, and that's something that you need in this day and age. Now, I saw people complaining about, oh my god, all he does is use analytics, but last time I checked, I don't recall him using analytics, especially in his time in Green Bay, and if he did, it wasn't to the extent he wants to do it now. And I think that's what the Cowboys need. They need someone that's experienced, can come in here, get this team set on the right direction, and hopefully we can get some W's, especially in the playoffs, man. I think that's the best, the most important part is that, you look at the Packers. I'm looking at their their playoff records right here in front of me, and he's 10-8 in the playoffs. And yeah, you're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but he's at least winning a playoff game or two, in that in those types of situations. He's been to the NFC Championship game a total of 4 times, and he's 1-3 in the NFC Championship game. However, I think that with the experience he has, I think he'll learn from that, and I think that that's what's important, is like, hey, he brings something to this team that we can definitely take advantage of, and I do very much love what the Joneses did in terms of bringing him in. This was a great way to start 2020. Now, the next part isn't more so about the coach, it's more so about his staff around him. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the staff surrounding Mike McCarthy, if they're going to keep guys that were here in Dallas, or he's going to bring in his own guys. At the end of the day, if Mike McCarthy was having that discussion with the Joneses, I just want to make sure, like, for me, I think the most important part is McCarthy gets what he has the people in place that, allow him to, feel comfortable, and they fit the system he wants to build in Dallas. So I do think that he will be able to get that done. And I really, once again, I'm very excited to see what Mike McCarthy can bring to the table with the Cowboys in terms of, not only his experience, but his new choices on analytics. He is a, relatively, aggressive coach from what I've seen. He's above the curve when it comes to going forward on 4th down. I've seen times where, and if you're one of those people that are valuing the whole emotion on the sideline, he does show it from time to time, but that's not his primary focus. And look, people will say that he's, overrated because he had Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. But you gotta understand that you do know that Mike McCarthy was fundamental in the development of Aaron Rodgers. And yes, we can maybe, and not only that, Aaron Rodgers would audible out of plays that he air quote didn't like. And so, this hire, I'm not trying to get it involved with the Packers, but I'm just going to say this. If Mike McCarthy does well in Dallas and he wins a championship with the Cowboys, and gets them there and makes them a competitive team, a lot of people, and depending on what happens with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people are going to look at it and be like, maybe it was Aaron Rodgers. I know they went 13-3 this year, the Packers, but I'm really curious to see how this pans out in the standing of time. So, overall, I'm very pleased with the hiring. I think that it's going to be, the best. I don't want to say it's going to be the best decision they've made. I think it's the best decision that Jerry Jones has made in quite some time. And again, people will say he's overrated because he has Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. But, when you think about it, I don't want to say this is comparable, but it's like in basketball when you have LeBron James or Kevin Durant, those types of those dominant players, and then you're going to be like, well, the coach doesn't need to do anything because they have a Kevin Durant or LeBron James. I know it might not be as as a comparable, but the point still remains is that, look, he still has a job to do, and he was able to do his job in terms of, hey, building a perennial contender that can get to the playoffs year in and year out. And I'm really curious to see how the NFC East shapes up in his time here, because we'll see. I mean, for all we know, it's a bust hire, but I think that the Cowboys, I think they nailed it, and that's saying a lot from, me in terms of, like, being critical of the front office, wanting, something new other than just, like, a retread. But, you know what? I'm willing to accept Mike McCarthy as the head coach. So, welcome, Coach McCarthy. Welcome aboard the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wait to see what you can do. And we're going to see what happens with the coaching staff, free agency, and all that other stuff. Alrighty, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel to make sure you get more content from myself. And with that being said, guys, I will be seeing you guys later. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.
I used to live in Sin Cities like Bruce Willis, but I'm Jackie Chan, karate chopping, I'm still kicking. I used to be chopped and screwed, I'm little flipping. Now I'm nice, Mike Jordan, so who's pimping? I'm running man, you the running man, you still slipping. I hit records, you swinging, it's still